The following episode of Dad vs. Daughter was made possible by a contribution from IDW Games. Arcane Academy from IDW Games is a tile placement action selection sort of game where we are going to be wizards in a school, but it's not Hogwarts. This is a game where we're going to be completing assignments. We're going to be collecting shards. We're going to be getting willpower, that sort of thing. So I'm going to give you an overview on how the game is played. And this is a game that Dad and his lunch group has been playing quite a bit. So then I'm going to come back and tell you what we think. So check it out. I've got this set up for a 3-player game. Each player is going to get their own player board. They're going to get their will tracker, which they will start with 3 will. And they will also get a hand of 3 assignment cards. So our assignment cards, the way you can read those is, this is the cost, and these 2 are going to cost 3 shards. This will cost 9 shards. And then the victory points at the end of the game are going to be down at the bottom. That has 2, that has 1, and that has 3. You'll also notice that these 2 have these use icons. So whenever we take the use action, we can activate one of those, and we have to do 1 use action for each one. This one here has end of game scoring. We're going to determine a first player, and they get the first player marker. On a player's turn, they're going to take one of these black exhaustion cubes, and they're going to place it on one of the open spots on their board. Now, when I say open, I don't mean these that don't have any tiles. I mean those that do not already have an exhaustion cube on them, because once they're exhausted, then you can't take that action until you rest. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But what we have on our board, we have an or. We can either do the use action, or we can play assignment cards, which are these, or we can also complete the 4 public ones that we see. Over here and over here, we have take a tile, so we can take one of the face-up tiles there. And then over here, we have also another or, where we can either gain a will or gain a shard. So let's just say that I decide that I want to take a tile, and I want to take this one. Now you'll notice that it has little connectors on them, and some of the spots on our board have these connector symbols as well. So at the end of my turn, any of the tiles that I grabbed, I can go ahead and I can place them on my board. Now you can see that those are connected. These 2 are not connected. Then we will refill the board, pull another tile out, and the next player goes. Now when it comes back around to me, let's say that I wanted to take this action here, put another exhaustion cube. I would be able to increase my will to 4, and I would also get a shard. Now the players are all going to start with 2 shards apiece. Now let's say on another turn, I decide that I want to complete this assignment card. You'll see that it costs 3 shards. So I'm going to take the complete assignment action. I will pay the 3 shards back to the bank, and then this card will be face up in front of me, and now I'm going to have 3 victory points at the end of the game, and if I take the use action on a future turn, then I would be able to do that special ability. And since I played one of my assignment cards, I get to draw back up. Now these are going to be hidden in my hand. I just had them face up just for demonstration purposes. The end of game is going to trigger when one player has played their 8th assignment card. Now, when they do that, they're going to take this pencils down card, and you can see it just says, take this card if you are the first player to complete their 8th assignment. The game ends after your next turn. So all other players are going to get 1 more turn, including you. So you just place that down there. After all players have taken their turns, you're going to add up any victory points that you have on the bottoms of your assignment cards and any victory points that you may have gotten from other special actions. Now let's talk about other things that you can do on your turn. You can rest, because that is going to be how you're going to get rid of these exhaustion tiles. When you rest, you take every exhaustion tile off of your board and you return it. You can also get rid of and discard one of the assignment cards that you have in your hand. So let's say I don't think I'm going to be able to complete this. So I could discard it, and then I can draw another card. So that is my rest action. Now, the one thing I didn't talk about was being able to do spells. Now, in the case that we have these spells here, you'll notice that it does not require any will, and it says remove an exhaustion token from your slate, and you're going to get 1 victory point at the end of the game. So we would draw another. So here's another spell. This one actually costs 3 will, and you can see where it says remove all exhaustion tokens from your slate at the end of your turn. So this is really nice because it doesn't require you to take a rest action and have that be your turn. Also, there's a lot of cards that people will have that says that they either get a shard or a will, or they get to do remove an exhaustion token whenever any player rests. So this is a really good spell because then you're not giving any benefits to anyone else. Now, as you're putting different tokens on your board, you can actually place over the top. And so let's just say that I didn't want that one anymore. I wanted to place that on that spot. You can put tiles over the tops of other tiles and spaces as long as you always have at least one complete assignment action available to you. Now, there is one special tile that I do want to talk about. Now, the game does come with a lot of tiles that you can see here. I've pretty much talked about what each of the tiles do, and I'm going to get back to this one in a minute. But this, you're going to be able to collect 2 shards. Here is a complete assignment. Collect 2 will and get a will or a shard, and you can see that we have quite a few of those. Here's one that's just like the corner there. We can take a use action, or we can do assignments. Here you can take a tile and do a use action. So there's a lot of tiles that you can get and put on your board. Now, the one tile that I wanted to show you is this. Now, this is the chaos magic, and when you activate this, you're going to be able to do one of any of the other normal actions, which is take a shard, get a will, take a tile, or complete an assignment, or do the use action. Now, one thing I didn't talk about was when you're activating a tile, let's just say that I want to activate this tile here. The first thing I do is I get to do what's on that tile. So in this case, I would get a shard and I would get a will. Now I can activate any of the tiles that are touching it via the connector, and I can do that in any order that I want. So let's say that those tiles were up there. So now I could activate and do this tile, which says take another tile, and then I'll add that to my board when I'm done. Here I can do a use action, so I could activate this card as well. Now you'll notice I didn't put any exhaustion tokens on either one of those. You only put the exhaustion token on the actual tile that you activate at the beginning of the turn. So on a future turn, I could come over here and I could do this chaos magic, and I could do any one of my actions, and then I could do the use action as well. So you can see that placing your exhaustion tokens is very strategic, and it goes along with the tiles that you get, because you can get some of these where you're going to be able to do quite a bit. Let's just take these off of there, and let's just say that I had a situation like this. On my turn, I could choose to do the take a use action as where I'm going to put the exhaustion token. Now I can gain 2 shards there. I can come over here and I can gain a shard and a will. I can come down here and gain a shard and a will. And I can come over here and do one of the chaos magic, all on the same turn. So this game is all about creating the different combos that you can do and really maximizing how you do that on your board. So that is really the crux of the game. So now let's get to what Dad and his lunch group think of it. As I said earlier, this game plays very fast. Now, it's going to slow down a little bit whenever you start getting all this where you can do all these combos. But especially the first few rounds, they're just going to go by very fast. We recommend this game because we have really been enjoying the heck out of it. Because it does play fast, we're playing multiple games during our lunch hour. It's very easy to teach new players that are coming in, and you never know exactly what you're going to get as far as the assignment cards you have in your hand, the ones that are going to come up for the in the public display, and what tiles you're going to get. And it can get a little cutthroat because you know that somebody is building their engine on their board, and you know that, say, if they have a lot of the item cards that require the use action, you can start taking some of these and keeping them to where they only have that or the chaos magic in order to activate that. So a lot of neat little strategies to kind of employ here. A lot of things to explore. So we have really enjoyed this. The components are nice and sturdy. I mean, that cardboard is nice and thick. The exhaustion cubes are just your standard little black cubes, but the shards are really kind of cool. These are nice and chunky. They look really good. The player boards themselves, they're nice and thick. They don't warp. I'll show you this one here a little bit up close, but you can see it's nice and thick, and it's double-sided. Now it's the exact same on one side as the other. The cards, they could be a little bit better. I mean, the artwork on the game is really good, and the artwork on the cards looks nice. But the finish on the cards could be a little nicer. It's not a linen finish. They are a little slick. In fact, I even had some of them stick together. Like my pencils down, you can see that it actually stuck to one of the cards, so there's a little bit of residue that was left when it pulled that apart. But that's just kind of a minor production thing. The wheels are pretty nice. Put those together. They function. They don't slide around too much. They are a little bit loose, but they're not going to really go anywhere. The rule book is nice on the back, especially for new players. You've got your tile action quick reference, and tells you what you're going to be doing. Tells you how to basically cast, how you can rest, and all the different actions. So pretty good to have that in the rule book. The rest of the rule book, it's laid out okay, but really you just need this, and I think you're going to be fine. The bag that it comes with is a really nice bag, cloth bag. It's big enough that I can get my hand in there. Could be just a little bit bigger to shuffle the tiles a little easier, but that's really a minor thing. I got some big hands, so really minor. But overall, like I said, we recommend the game. We've really enjoyed playing it. We've been playing it pretty solid now for the last couple weeks, and everybody has enjoyed it. So that is Arcane Academy from IDW Games, and we will catch you guys next time. If you would like to support us, you can visit patreon.com/dadvdaughter.
Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.